Hello! We continue to monitor the events on the front lines of Ukraine and Russia, as well as the news. As of today, the Ukrainian armed forces continue their offensive actions, resulting in Russians abandoning their positions and retreating. But before we begin, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Let's start with the Bakhmut direction. Yesterday, I reported that the Ukrainian armed forces were making progress, and it was confirmed that Klishchiivka had been liberated. These advancements indicate that the Ukrainian armed forces are occupying more advantageous positions for further advances. The Russians are already reporting that due to the Ukrainian armed forces cutting off the flanks, the entire Bakhmut region is within reach. As a result, Ukraine is witnessing the movement of Russian troops and equipment in Bakhmut, and they are being destroyed by artillery fire. Meanwhile, the Russians are attempting to regain lost positions and are launching an offensive in the Bogdanivka and Orikhovo-Vasilievka areas. But the Ukrainian armed forces are breaking up their formations, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Avdiivka direction, the Ukrainian armed forces are conducting offensive operations, but efforts to destroy Russian depots and bases have intensified. Perhaps here as well, preparations for a counteroffensive are beginning. Over the past few days, strikes have targeted the Donetsk, Makiivka and Yasinuvata bases, and ammunition depots are burning everywhere. Late last evening, there was a new strike in the Makiivka area, resulting in a significant fire. According to local residents, this occurred near a gas regulation station. Meanwhile, the Russians continue their attempts to capture the outskirts of Avdiivka. There is heavy shelling, and the Russians are trying to scatter all Ukrainian armed forces positions to make it more difficult for them to launch new offensives. However, the plans of the General Staff remain unchanged, and the Ukrainian armed forces periodically attempt to advance. For now, there have been no changes on the front line in the past 24 hours, and no active assault operations have been recorded. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the Ukrainian armed forces have also temporarily suspended their offensive actions. Unfortunately, the front line remains unchanged. Regarding Tokmak, it is also about 20 kilometers away, but the occupiers have entrenched themselves too heavily on the road to the city that it will be difficult to advance quickly through the territory. Therefore, the Ukrainian armed forces continue to destroy the depots and bases of the occupiers. As for the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the situation remains stable. During inspections, no signs of mining were found, contrary to previous claims. Therefore, we are waiting to see how events will develop. Additionally, with each passing day, more details emerge about what concealed beneath the waters of the Kakhovka reservoir. In Zaporizhzhia, an old bridge that had been submerged for over 80 years can now be seen. The bridge, spanning almost 2 kilometers across the Dnipro River, was built immediately after the city's liberation in 1943. Initially, the bridge was temporary and existed until 1953. It was later dismantled, leaving only the foundation structures underwater. Due to a significant decrease in the water level following the destruction of the Kakhovka hydroelectric power station, remains of the bridge's foundation piers emerged from the water. It is also reported that satellites have detected new objects on the roof of Reactor 4 at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Satellite images show the appearance of new objects on the roof of Reactor 4, which the General Staff had reported being mined. The photos were taken on July 5th. However, the resolution of the image doesn't allow us to understand what exactly appeared on the roof. Meanwhile, the publication analyzed satellite photos of Reactor 4 at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant over the past 1.5 years and states that no similar objects were visible in any of the images during this time. In the Kherson direction, the Ukrainian armed forces continue to control the territory near the Antonivsky Bridge and cottages as before. The Russians continue to shell both the right and left banks. However, this doesn't help them, and the Ukrainian armed forces continue to hold their positions. Unfortunately, explosions have been reported in Lviv today. There are casualties and fatalities. A Russian rocket hit a residential building, and rescuers have recovered the bodies of 3 deceased individuals, with 8 more people injured. Approximately 60 apartments and 50 cars have been damaged, including critical infrastructure. Emergency services are conducting to clear the debris, and evacuation preparations are underway. The first explosion occurred around 2:30 a.m. The Ukrainian Air Force had previously warned of missile danger in the western direction. In the Crimea and Siversk regions, the Russians have resumed offensive actions in the Dnipro area. However, the Ukrainian armed forces are turning their attacks into counterattacks and attempting to drive them out of their occupied positions. As a result, periodic clashes are reported on both the occupied territory and the territory under Ukrainian control. Unfortunately, the Russians have managed to capture the village of Novovodyane to the north, advancing approximately 2 kilometers. They have also achieved their objectives of pushing the Ukrainian armed